is about impacting families. I believe that the society is run by families. So if the families get it right, we'll get it right in the society. And we don't parent by default. You parent intentionally. The way our parents parented, I was with somebody here yesterday, and the young boy was saying something that our parents did not go for workshops like this. And I was saying that your time, our parents' time is not our time. The children we're raising today, the way we're raised, you can't raise the children we have today the way you were raised. You will not succeed because times have changed. Parenting evolves, and we will have to learn to evolve. So I believe that this workshop will unveil to you strategies that are unique to your family. Everybody will hear things in different dimensions, the way it applies to you. But what I would say is that be ready to receive. One thing I've learned in life is learn to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. Don't hold up to some principles and things that you are afraid that this is the way it is. Be open to change, because that change may just be what you need for your parenting journey to be a success. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming. We believe that at the end of this workshop, every one of us, we have tangible testimonies and tangible results in our home in the long run. So thank you so much. Thank you. So quickly, I'm still going to be here. I'm going to be talking about something quickly. The first talk. Just a very brief one before we continue. I'm going to be talking about the three-way street of intentional parenting. The three-way street of intentional parenting. The three-way streets of intentional parenting. When the slide will come up soon. So the first thing we're going to be talking about, the three-way street is visualization, verbalization, and actualization. The three-way street of intentional parenting. Visualization, verbalization, and actualization. So I'm going to touch on the three just briefly. Now, when we talk about visualization, I'm going to ask us a question. As a parent, how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? How do you see your parenting journey? Where do you see your children arrive at? When you look at your child, what picture do you have in your mind? Now, pictures are very critical because most of the times in our life, we leave out the pictures we have in our subconscious. So that is why visualization is key. Every parent must have a picture of where they are headed for. Now, it's almost similar to having a family vision. When you talk about a family vision, you have in your mind a picture of the destination of your family. So every parent must have a picture of where they want their family to get to. You must have a picture of your child. How do you see your child? What mental picture do you have of that child? It determines a lot of things. So we must visualize. What vision do you have of your family? The mental picture you have of your child, or the mental picture you have of your parenting journey and your child, will fund the sacrifices and the investments you are willing to pay. The picture you have of your parenting journey, the pictures you have of your child, will fund the sacrifices. It will fund the investments you are willing to pay. Now, if I have a picture of my child, that my child is royalty, do you know it will determine the decisions I make concerning raising that child? It will. If I have a picture that my child is a king, I have a picture that my child is royalty, there will be a way I talk to that child. It will form the kind of school I put that child in. It will form the kind of circle I deliberately introduce my child to. It will decide the kind of books I allow my child read. Because I have a picture. And it will also form the level of sacrifice I am willing to pay for that child. Do you know, I believe that most times people are not willing to pay for knowledge. Especially in worry. But the truth is that for the success you want to achieve in any sphere of life, you must be willing to give up something. And sometimes it's your money. Your money. A lot of people feel that when you are getting knowledge about parenting, you're wasting your time. But you're not wasting your time. Because in the long run, your first assignment in that family, God has entrusted a human being in your hands. And one of the things I tell parents is that you're a steward. You don't own a child. Nobody owns a child. You are just giving that child for you to raise, and you'll be accountable. So what picture do you have in your mind? Every child comes with a blueprint. Do you have the blueprint of that child? Do you have? If you have the blueprint of your child, you will know how to raise the child. So you don't raise the child anyhow. It's like a man building a house. Before you build a house, what do? You draw out a plan. You get an architect, right? They draw a plan. What's the plan? A picture of the building you want to build. So when you're building the house, you're looking at the plan. Okay, this shape is supposed to be like this. That is the way to raise a child. You must have a picture and a plan. So when you're raising, you're checking. Does it align? If it doesn't align, where have I made a mistake? So you must be able to visualize. You must. Do you know that something that affects your visualization is what you hear? What you hear feeds what you see. Let me explain. If, for example, you have a child and you have taken your child to school. Now, school has their own job. And they did an assessment in your school. And the school tells you that your child is dull. It's your child. There's no need. Just take the child to learn a skill. The child cannot pass. Do you know you can feed the picture you have in your mind of your child? You can begin to see that child as a child that cannot achieve anything academically. What you hear feeds your picture. You must be deliberate information you're allowed to go into your subconscious concerning your parenting journey and your children. Not everybody is allowed to speak to you concerning your child. Not everybody. Not everybody. And you should not allow just anybody speak into your child. You don't give everybody any access to just speak into your child. It can form the pictures you have. Circumstances can form the pictures you have of your child. Now you'll be raising a child and say, this child is so restless. This child is very stubborn. This child does not listen. Now in your mind, you have framed a picture. You will amount to nothing good. So in your mind, this child will not get to a certain level in life because of what you are, the circumstances around you. Be careful what you hear. And that is why attending conferences like this helps to shape your picture. Because sometimes it brings you a realization that some things you are facing may just be the developmental stage of that child. If you don't understand these things, sometimes it even affects the way you discipline your children. A child may just be doing what the child should do at age 2. And you feel that the child is just misbehaving. So that is why it's important to get knowledge. Okay. Now let me give an illustration before I go to verbalization. Now with Disney said something. You know, when he was trying to build the second resort called Magic Kingdom, he had to look for a land. After a while he built. And before they opened it, he died. And somebody said something in the opening and told his wife. He said, Lillian, it's a shame that with Walt Disney is not here to see this. I know what she responded. She said, he did see it, or it wouldn't be here. A man that had a picture. He saw that result. He shaped it out. Do you know what your visualization can do? His visualization became a blessing to generations after him. If your pictures are right, you will raise a child that will become one that will affect their nation or the world for good. The pictures are important. If you have the right picture, you'll be able to engineer people to work with you to fulfill your purpose. It guides the kind of people you put around your child. Support systems. Now the next thing is verbalization. Our words are pens we use to imprint in the mind of our children. Our words are pens we use to imprint in the minds of our children. So when you speak words to your children, you are imprinting in their minds. You're writing something. And it stays. The word of a parent to a child does a lot to that child. Most times, the word you speak to your child is what echoes in their subconscious when they're in situations. You must be careful what you say. Words paint pictures in the mind, and then the mind goes on to complete the picture. That's a quote by Zig Ziglar. Words will paint pictures in the mind, and the mind will go ahead to complete the picture. Give life to what you say by speaking it, and speak it consistently. Give life to what you see, Whatever you see, the picture, give life to it by speaking, and speaking it consistently. So the picture in your mind that is like thoughts, speak it out. Somebody said something that words are spoken thoughts. So speak it out and bring it to life. The power of words. Let me give us a story. There's a woman called William Rudolph. I think I say it a lot of time. And she was named, I think, was it the fastest woman in the world at some point? When she was giving birth to, she had challenges. There was a time she had polio and it affected her legs. Now the doctor said something to her. They told her that she would never be able to work. And she said something. My mom told me I will walk, and I believe my mother. And the story goes that at the age of 6, she began to hop on one leg. At the age of 8, she moved around with a leg brace. At the age of 11, her mother saw her outside playing basketball without head. Because a woman decided to speak the right words. What words do you speak over your children? It doesn't matter what you're saying. Speak the words. Words are life. Don't just go ahead saying anything. I heard of a story. I give this illustration. Somebody told me of a story of a woman that was trying to spank a child. A neighbor, she overheard the woman. Said she was spanking the child. And what she was saying was like, you are a proper child. You are a proper child. She was spanking him. Some people were like, you're big head. Idiot. You amount to nothing. Do you know what you're doing? And most times, what we see around us in the life of our children is just our words playing back to us. We must be conscious what we see. Very conscious. Now, it said that she was the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in track and field events at the same time in an Olympic game. And she was branded the fastest woman in the world at a point. A woman that the doctor said, but the mother decided to speak the right thing. What are you saying to your children? Verbalization. It is very important. Humans are can be conditioned to believe anything, especially when they are young and impressionable. So when you say things, the mind is powerful. It can fund their lives. Our words are pens that we use to imprint in the mind of our children. I said that. Be careful what you say. What are you imprinting in the mind of your child? You know, there's 2 authors that wrote something, and they wrote a book called Words Can Change Your Brain. Words can change your brain. And you know what the book said? They said that positive words can alter the expression of genes, strengthening areas of our frontal lobe, and promoting the brain in cognitive functioning. What are you trying to say? When you speak positive words, it can affect the working of the brain, the prefrontal lobe, the frontal cortex, in a lot of work, executive functioning and the rest. And he said it can improve cognitive functioning. That's the ability of your children to excel, even in academics. What are you saying? This is research. Science. They also concluded that a single negative word can increase the activity of the fear center of the brain and release dozens of stress-producing hormones and neurotransmitters, which can interrupt brain functioning. Negative word. A single negative word. Let us be careful. And I'm going to say a quote before I go to actualization. Now, someone named Gary said, is a family therapist. Affirming words from moms and dads are light switches. Speak a word of affirmation at the right moment in a child's life, and it's like lighting up a whole room full of possibilities. It's like a light switch. When you turn on the light, the darkness leaves. That's what your affirming words as a parent can do in the life of your child. The last one, actualization. Take action. You have seen the picture. You have spoken the words. Take action. Parenting is not a passive role. You must work and be intentional in bringing out the greatness in your child. No child attains greatness by you wishing the child attains greatness. You know, most times as parents, like, I want my child to be great. So they say, what kind of child do you want? I want a great child, a child that will be successful. It is good. You must walk the talk. You must walk the talk. That's where intentionality comes into play. That's where intentionality. So you must take action. Parenting is not passive. It requires a whole lot of hard work. And when we decide to have children, we must be willing to give the time to work. And that's why sometimes I ask parents or people, why did you have the child? If you cannot answer that question, there's a problem. Why did you start having children? Why did you have that child? We don't just have children because we are Africans, and when you are married, people expect you to give birth to children. Why? You must be able to answer the question, why? Take responsibility. Walk the talk and the sights. Walk the talk and the sights. Walk what you say, walk what you see. Responsibility is the price for greatness. That's what one great man of God said, Bishop Uyudiko. So in summary, what am I saying? The 3-way streets of intentional parenting is see, speak, and act. You can do all this. You come out an amazing parent. And your children, you'll be glad and proud the kind of child you will raise. And the world at large will celebrate you and celebrate your child. So I think I'm going to stop here for this. Thank you so much.